God. Okay.
Can you see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is kind of a home page. So we will here, user will start entering the, what they want to buy. Okay. So for an example, let's say the example is like looking to buy laptops for the businesses. Okay. So they can select, they can enter anything, right? And they can simply start with it.
Can we start with my example, or do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, we can start with your example also.
Yes. It'll be more impactful if it's
Okay, no,
not.
don't go back. Go from inside and select and create a new requirement. Like we want to show the multi-threads as well. Like you can be working on different requirements in parallel. Okay, carry on however you want. Just
No, we will do exactly whatever. Okay, so this I created a new requirement. So what do you like? What's it about? Tell
Let's say
me which example should we do?
commercial air conditioning units.
Okay, so now what should I enter here?
Okay, what would happen if you wrote our building air conditioner is broken? Does it take that kind of request? Or that
Let's test it out.
our building air conditioner is broken.
there is a check.
So before we proceed, can you tell me how critical this issues for his operation? For example, is it affecting your business continuity, employee comfort or
So this is a
compliance with
problem
any?
already, because if I was an end user, this would make me upset, because the tool needs to know there's what the role is of an air conditioner in a business. It should be telling me, it should be telling you that, okay, if it's your air conditioner, the assumption is that and if it knows the location or whatever, or it takes into account the season, but the assumption is this is critical to employee well-being, and you need this resolved immediately. Further assumption is that the things you care about are longevity of the unit, uptime, the total cost of operations. The tool should be telling you, shouldn't play dumb and ask questions on something that's obvious. Similarly, I was
Tool
going to say
is
security
um,
services.
okay, Omid, the tool is trying to evaluate the criticality level. Like the air conditioning can be broken for your, servers systems only, or it can be. So it is exactly doing what you are suggesting. Like it's
So
asking
it
you
should
for
then
the
say
criticality.
is it could, is this for an office, or is this for office dwellers, or for it? I just don't, end users have zero patience. They have zero patience. And they see this, and they're gonna say, okay, you're supposed to be AI. I told you the entire building doesn't have air conditioning, and you're unclear on I would prefer that the tool is a little bit more proactive in how it communicates. If
But
it comes,
unless it knows what type of business you are in, or it is going to do exactly what you are asking, but it is going to do in a gentle manner. Right now,
so
it is exactly doing the criticality analysis.
give me an example where it's not critical. Can you do that?
We can go with employee comfort and just move into that as a channel.
The reason I'm being tough is because end users are 100 times more tough than me. They get into the tool and they see it and they see, I don't have time to deal with this. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's better you hear it from me than from them,
Yeah,
because
for sure. For
they're
any,
the ones that are I'm speaking from 31 years experience. End users have zero tolerance. They want to just say, I don't have time for this. I just want to tell you what I want to buy. So okay, let's keep going. So let's just say it affects employee comfort and you can say whatever you think is appropriate. I would just prefer that it instead tells you. If it's obvious, which I think it's obvious, it should tell you.
Yeah, it is giving me example also, like the yielding can be the server, or maybe, like in some places where it's not that much serious issue because of the temperature. So, but I understand your point, Amit. Yes, most of the time this might be the critical issue.
Yes. Okay, let's go with it. Let's go with it. So let's say employee comfort, comma, unit is completely inoperable. Because it could be that it's operable, but it's just not operating well. See, once again, I want the tool to suggest things. To me, this creates the perception of it's shifting the burden of work to the end user. Instead, it should say based on based on what I know about air conditioning units and your circumstances, your most critical results that you should want to achieve are timeliness of receipt of the unit that has very high uptime, a longevity of the unit, and the total cost of owning and operating the unit.
It is exactly saying that,
I wanted to
energy
tell I
efficiency,
wanted to
long-term reliability.
hear me out, please.
Yes.
I'm not saying you did something wrong. I'm saying that I want the tool to give the answer and to say, did I miss anything? Instead of asking for an open-ended question of now the end user has to type in everything that it agrees with. Instead, it should type in everything that it disagrees with. The tool should do the work for the end user rather than asking the end user to do the work and give it ideas. See, if I'm an end user, now I have to employ. Here's the other thing. This tool is solving one of the problems it's solving is that the end user is not smart enough to solve these problems. Okay. So if you're asking the end user to come up with the criteria, they're going to forget stuff and then the tool's going to run with it. Or the tool's going to run corrections, but that adds cycle time. So it should, I'll just type, the tool should say something like, okay, your AC unit is down and you have office dwellers. So in a building that has office dwellers, let me write that, in a building that has office dwellers. Based on this and other criteria in my knowledge base, your most what did you call it? The expected outcomes, the expected results you should want to achieve are immediacy of delivery, acquisition, fair acquisition price, high quality and high uptime of the unit, low maintenance requirements, and low longevity of the unit, and low operating cost. Does this sound right? Or did I miss something? Do you see? I don't, do you see how, first of all, can you see what I wrote?
You have put it in the group, right?
I did. I put it in the chat.
Okay, got it.
Let me kind of step back for a second, and I need to kind of paint a picture for both you guys that I haven't painted, and maybe you're not clued into it. Procurement inside the organization is, did we lose Shivam or is he there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
here.
I just don't see him. I only see Sumit. Okay. So procurement inside the organization is viewed as a roadblock. Do you follow me?
Yes.
It's not viewed as this value-added organization that we absolutely have to get involved in order to help us, achieve our objectives. It's viewed as this organization that you have to engage because the company says you have to engage, and it creates one more step. You already know what you want, you know what you want to buy. Why can't you just go buy it? Why can't you just go place an order? What now I have to go talk to procurement. And then procurement's going to go through all their steps. They're going to waste my time. In the end, they'll probably try and change the supplier I want to buy it from. I know who I want to buy it from. They're going to try and negotiate the price, but I have the budget for the unit and I need this unit yesterday, and they're going to take 1 month to try and get this sorted out. Are you guys with me?
Got it.
You have to understand that this is the place that procurement sits. And if you're not in that mindset, you'll design this tool wrong. So the number one thing this tool has to do is to deliver simplicity. If it doesn't deliver simplicity, it doesn't matter how good the results are. Do you follow me? It has to do the work for the end user, and it has to tell them all of these things. This is what I think it should be. What did I miss? Rather than what should it be? That's a to me that is not that's not an AI driven process. If the end user has to tell you, that's just an AI guided process. We need it to be an AI driven process.
Got it. So it needs to give all the possible examples in that, right?
It
That's
needs to
a
preload it. It needs to preload it for them.
got it, got it.
So yeah, it needs to preload it, and then the end user just needs to be making tweaks, if at all.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, just. Can I quickly fill my water bottle? It's emptied and my throat is
No problem. No problem.
kind of parched. And then if you guys want to discuss what I just wrote, or if you want to digest it, just give me a minute.
No, yeah.
Basically, Sumit, just the checkbox functionality. Just, allow people to just click and click.
No, checkbox, not like checkbox. It's like, instead of giving these only 3 things, we need to give more examples in a proper format, I guess.
But it's
Checkbox can
not.
be,
Hmm.
and yeah, so user can simply tell what they don't want.
They need to select all the stuff that we present, and based on the checkboxes, they don't need to type
Let
it
ask
again.
him. Let
Yeah.
ask him because okay. Let's ask this to clarify.
Uh, I think this is going to help. But anyways, okay, ask.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then I think that he might say that clicking the checkbox is also extra work for the end user. That's
But
I
that is
fear.
still much simpler than,
Uh,
typing and texting. Anyways, that is part of
yes.
the plan that I already shared with you. So carry on.
And I'll tell you what's going to happen if we don't make this shift I'm talking about. We'll review this with CPOs. They're going to say this is great. Everyone's going to say this is great. Then when we go to do end user testing, after we've developed the unit, then the end users are going to puke on it. Or even worse, we get some money from companies and then the companies revolt because they said, we think it's great, but our end users don't want to use it. And so this problem has to get solved. It has to make the end user's life easier, not harder. No matter how, it's not just the outcome we're trying to achieve. We're not just trying to optimize the outcome. We're also trying to optimize the process.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So one thing is that, so do we need to show here all the checkbox of examples where user can select or unselect what are the things he wants, or we should simply give examples in the chat format? How
I
should
think
we do it?
a series of bullets would be fantastic, and then they should be pre-checked, so that they don't have to go and check all the ones that are of interest. Please uncheck any that are not
Okay.
important to you, and please, and then at the bottom you may add any. And then if
Got
they
it.
uncheck something that this tool knows is important, for instance, let's say they uncheck low maintenance requirements, then the tool should say, are you sure? The industry data shows that the total cost of ownership, that maintenance comprises 33% of the total cost of ownership of an air conditioning unit. So it should not let them just blindly make bad decisions, because the tool has to be smarter than the end user. I made up the 33% figure, but do you see what I'm saying?
Got it.
Yes. Or if, for instance, they uncheck longevity of the unit, then you could say, are you sure? Because this will possibly result in you getting a cheaper unit, but your total cost will definitely increase by having to buy and install and replace units more often, which is, oops, my thing fell apart, which is highly unrecommended. So it
Got it.
should pre-feed the answers and then allow for tweaks, and then highly discourage bad answers. And then at the end of the process, it should have flags. So for instance, I do my own taxes. I don't know if you guys have TurboTax there. It doesn't matter. I do my own taxes using a software. And then at the end, when I'm done, it runs an audit check and it tells me there's 12 flags we need to address, right? And so there has to be some kind of audit check. It can't just be, and those have to be raised to end user and to procurement. So it can't just be that somebody unchecks acquisition price, unchecks uptime of the unit, unchecks longevity, and then proceeds. Well, that's a bad decision, right? That's like saying, I want to make burfi, but I'm not going to use milk or ghee. How are you going to do it? So it's, anyways.
Got it. Yeah. So would we continue on this existing flow?
Yes.
Okay. For now, let's select all the points there. I think you mentioned it. Let's select it
How about if you
completely.
just say all of these are, oh, sorry, go ahead. You can copy and
Yeah,
paste
I
the
can
chat.
say.
Why don't you
No,
copy
I
and
can
paste
say.
the chat? But there's more, isn't there? Let's see. Oh, and you see the tool came up with something I didn't. Consistent temperature and air quality in the workplace. That's great. And I didn't write that. Let me see if I can edit. Yeah. I'm going to edit my comments.
So it's come up with some new outcomes also.
That's great. So, but there needs to be, I mean, are you asking for them to type it in? There needs to be check boxes. There needs to be, do you see what I'm saying?
Got it.
But this is good. I like what it came back with. That's really nice. It just needs to be in a more user-friendly format.
Got it.
The way you have to be thinking is you have to be imagining that the person who's going to use this tool has zero tolerance for having to go through this process. You know, it'd be like before you could eat breakfast every day, you have to go through some documented procedure with the government. Do you know what I mean? Like, how would you feel about it? You would just, I can't believe I have to do this.
Yeah.
And so just as long, if you view it with that in mind, you're going to build a better tool. The end user has zero tolerance for this process, and they view it as something being shoved down their throat. Now, the thing is, we're going to win over end users because suddenly, once they use this a few times, they're going to start getting way better results. Then they're going to say, oh, wow, this is great. But it's the first times that they want to use this tool. That's when we're going to win them or lose them. Because they might.
That particular piece is more about the user experience and the interaction design. But right now, what Sumit has been focused on is the foundational thinking. So the thought
Okay.
process around the tool, the basic agentic responses, even without the right now we do not have any markdowns in the text, so it does not look as clean. Those
Yes.
all pieces, the interaction design and other stuff will be definitely incorporated. Sumit, can
Okay.
you show the thinking part as well? Like we can also do, more part. Like this is basically also giving you an idea about, what the agent is thinking while it is giving you responses. So
So it
there,
is now thinking about the categories, why it is essential and key aspect, all those.
This is beautiful. The stuff here is fantastic. It's thought of things I didn't think of. This is fantastic.
yeah, like
If
there's a
I
lot of
don't look
work
at
that has gone into the, UI, but again, the first piece is to give you the right logical steps as we have provided in the PPT. Then
perfect.
after that, yeah,
Just say,
interactions and all the stuff that is basic user experience that we will, own as we go out to the market.
Okay, so if I just focus on content, this is like stellar, exceeds expectations.
Mhm. Great to hear. Like the steps, there are some other aspects as well. We'll show you the canvases and other pieces, but the scope of work that gets out. The first piece is that, yes, that wow factor of the, second or third time. Do we have the right thing in place and the agent is working right? If we are clear with that, then, perfect, like 100 out of 100, then we move on to the next parts and, tweak it for better usability, better interactions, those pieces, obviously.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, here it makes a little bit mistake. It needs to ask the categories success one by one. But yeah, I think it works sometimes. Sometimes it does not. I need to make some changes into the system to make sure it works every time. So here it's talking about the what is the success criteria for each categories.
Smart control system usability, yes. Now, here's, can the tool then say, based on these criteria, here's the units. Do you have something you're interested in buying? And can I also share with you other units that I think would meet all of your criteria? Is it at some point, can it do that?
Uh, can you repeat?
Can the tool say that, here are if once you identify the things that you're trying to achieve as success criteria, can it suggest different vendors and specific units?
Vendors, not right now, because for the vendors, we need to have a vendors database connected with it, right?
Okay.
Because even if you ask, yeah, we need to do that. We need to create a list of vendors, then we need to connect with it. But one thing that we will couple up is where user can upload their vendors file into it. Okay, they can upload if they have some vendors or any information they would like this AI to have, right? So they can upload those documents into it, and then this AI will have knowledge about it. Then you can exactly ask which vendor should I select from the list that I gave you for this particular thing, those things.
All right. And so let's say they said at some point, this is the unit I want to buy, could the AI tool go and research about that unit and like maybe they upload a quote to or whatever, and then come back and say it meets all of these except number 4 and number 7 or something like that?
Uh, it can happen if we, like if we want that. Okay, the current system cannot do it. Okay, but yeah, the future system we can configure it to be do it.
Yeah.
All right. And let
Let
me tell you
me,
what happened. Go on, Shivam.
Yeah.
okay, I'm just explaining you. I think Sumit missed this part about the smart and strict options that you are seeing at the bottom. In your slides, in the first part, you have something which is prescriptive and descriptive, right? That you have four
Mm-hmm.
items, four possible scenarios, in which one is the scenario where the user knows what he's doing and the
Yes.
tool needs to follow the user. And in the other scenarios, the tool needs to guide and drive and the user needs to follow. So this
Yes.
smart and strict are basically those formats.
Oops,
Smart
excuse me.
is that the tool is smart enough to understand and explain all of the stuff that you are going to expect, and it has the searchability feature, it has the reasoning, it has thinking and all. And in the strict one, you can also define that, okay, follow the documents that I have shared with you. I know what I need out of this documents, like it can be the bidding contracts as well. And then the tool will basically ask you the certain questions just to create the document in the proper format. And if it will just be guide rails, but it will not be interrupting you or suggesting you more than what is expected. So these are
Perfect.
two options that I think Sumit didn't tell you yet. But one of them, when the files are already there, it will be smart enough to understand, okay, what is the context and what are we planning to get an outcome.
That's cool. And these measurement criteria are really cool. And it's as I wanted, it's much, much smarter than me. Now I want to tell you guys what happened last week. I was I was doing some training for a government agency. It was a transit district for in Los Angeles. And in fact, it was on this topic, the entire session. And who was I presenting to? Very uniquely, I was not presenting to procurement. I was presenting to a business unit, the people who generate the demand, which I rarely get that opportunity. And so I was telling them not about this tool, but conceptually about, this process and so forth. And one guy kept challenging me. He was a vice president. And he used the example of buses. He said, okay, if I get all this, it makes sense. But if I start putting in all these demands and requirements for what the bus needs to do, they just won't sell me the bus. He said, or they'll add on so much cost to what I need to pay in order for them to perform all these things, in order for them to be willing to sign up. So that comment stuck with me. And so this tool has to have some sort of, I don't know if native is the right word, but it needs to have some sort of feasibility assessment. In other words, you want to go and buy a loaf of bread from the local bakery, you can't, or whatever, naan. You can't come there and say, okay, it has to have no more than 26 particles per million of this, and then it has to have a moisture level of that, and it has to not exceed 5 grams of ghee, and then the garlic must be not less granular than this and not more granular than that, and nobody would sell you naan, right, if you did that. And similarly, this tool has to be smart in that it knows what is implementable, as opposed to creating a utopian ideal that nobody is willing to contractually sign up to. Or the only people who sign up to it is somebody who wants to charge so much money to make it worth their time. Does this make sense to you guys?
Definitely. So it has to be feasible. If it is not feasible, then the entire RFX is like you are not gonna get any vendors.
Yeah, it cannot be this tool cannot, and you have not shown me anything that indicates it will be, but I want to avoid this theoretical outcome where the tool recommends utopian ideals. You know what I mean by utopian ideals, right? Like perfect
Got it.
world scenarios that nobody can do. It's kind of like saying, my future spouse, A must be gorgeous, B must never get fat, C must be extremely intelligent always, D must never argue with me, E must, clean the house and never expect me to clean the house, F must cook for me constantly. And all those things, guess what? You're never getting married. Nobody's going to sign up to that. So
Sumit,
so
can you show the canvas as well? And we have 4 minutes remaining, so let's get to the scope of work
Canvas is still not
document.
done yet. Canvas
Okay.
is still not done yet.
Okay, then show the other pieces like the chat history and the other components, and then like I want you to finish up with the scope of work within next 2 minutes so that we can um start wrapping up.
I can meet more if you guys want, but I know it's late. So
Late is not we I have only 4 minutes remaining for the Zoom, so we'll have to anyways go through the piece. But the main item of or main agenda for this discussion is get one particular requirement out and give it to you, and then we give the tool to you. Like this is something that we are going to do the deploy at the late hours of the night, and after that you can play with it tomorrow with your own account and try to see what you can break it with. Just understand that the UI and all will definitely have more markups that are going to come, and we'll also tune that interactional piece, but the foundational piece is the one where your strategy or your directions are already there. What we want to understand is whether the tool is directionally capable of integrating the methodology, and whether it is doing any logical mistakes that we would have missed.
I totally get it. I'm
Yeah,
going to focus on content and not cosmetics and not delivery and not.
yeah. I think the cosmetics are still super amazing. Like I'm super
I
proud of
get
it.
it.
But still, that's we know that there are some known pieces that we are going to work on when we work on the front end side.
Okay, 1 second. So I'm continuing this. So
Yeah.
can you see this? So it will ask for one category one by one. Would you like this following to be included in the success criteria for each categories? Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm selecting all the default values here. Okay. For each success criteria.
It's drawing from the internet and the data on that, I gather. Yeah, it's very impressive.
Now I think this is a last category.
So let's scroll from the left side as well. Show the categories all.
This.
Yeah. Okay. Like we want to go to the ROSM and then, finish the documentation. Yeah. Less than 1 minute. So the call will end.
We can have another call. Okay, if it is followed, no problem with me. So I think it's already done. After this step, it will generate the ROSM and then it will generate the scope of work.
So far, very impressive.
And definitely this checkbox examples, those idea that you have gave us to make the end user work much less. We are going to do it next to make the user experience much more better.